cute.
Chew.
He's hungry. Hi guys, thank you for tuning in today. We have two really special guests with us. This is Kate, and this is baby Pierre. He's a sloth. He was just eating some zucchini and some sweet potatoes, but he's very cute. All right, so the book we're going to be reading today is actually called Sparky, and it's about sloths. I wanted a pet, a bird or a bunny or a trained seal. My mother said no to the bird, no to the bunny, no, no, no to the trained seal. I asked her every day for a month until she finally said, "You can have any pet you want as long as it doesn't need to be walked or bathed or fed." I made her a promise. Then I went to see the school librarian. She knows everything in the whole world, and she pointed me to the volume S of the Animal Encyclopedia. This is what I found. Sloths have been known to sleep more than 16 hours a day. They sometimes hang upside down in trees, barely moving for long periods of time. They survive by eating leaves and drinking the dew that collects in them. It is said that sloths are the laziest animals in the world. Is Pierre kind of lazy?
He might be.
My sloth arrived by express mail. He was about the size of a medium-ish dog, with a flat nose and a monkey face. My mother wasn't happy, but a promise is a promise, I said. Sparky, I decided, that will be your name. I took him outside to his tree. Sparky went right to sleep. I made a sign and put it under the tree. Guard sloth. Enter at your own risk. It was 2 days before I saw him awake. Does Pierre sleep a lot of the time?
He does. He sleeps
Yeah.
almost all day.
He didn't know a lot of games, so I taught him some. We played Kings of the Mountain, and I won. We played hide and seek, and I won. We played Kung Fu Fighter, and I won. We played Statue, and Sparky was very, very good. That weekend, Mary Potts came over to investigate. Let me show you what Mary Pot is like. This is a picture of her room. Before she even took off her coat, Mary said, "Let me see your new pet." I had some worries, but I took her out to Sparky's tree. He opened his eyes and looked at us. Then he closed them again. I rubbed his belly, but it was too late. We stood there for a while watching him sleep, his fur ruffled gently in the breeze. "I feel sorry for you," Mary said. "My cat can dance on her hind legs, and my parrot knows 20 words, including God and ice cream. Sparky knows tricks too," I told her, but she didn't believe me. The next day, I made a poster and nailed it to the tree outside Mary Potts' house. Trained Sloth Extravaganza. Countless tricks to mystify you, just 7 days away. All week we trained in secret. Sometimes Sparky slept through practice and I had to poke him awake. Sometimes he forgot what he was doing and we had to start over. Sometimes he took so long to fetch that I went inside and had dinner while I waited. I was starting to think the poster had been a mistake, but a promise is a promise. One day of the Trained Sloth Extravaganza, my mother set up lawn chairs. 3 people came to see Sparky perform. My mother, Mary Potts, and Mrs. Edwin, the crossing guard. Mrs. Edwin approved of Sparky because he never ran in the street. Do I look like a ringmaster? I asked my mother. You look very interesting, she told me. I put a little glitter on Sparky just before the curtain went up. I kept wishing I had written 2 tricks on the poster instead of countless tricks. Play dead, Sparky, I said, and he did. Roll over, I said, and he didn't. Speak, I commanded. We all waited and waited. Speak, I said. Sparky looked at me. The only thing you could hear was the wind in the trees. He has a very pretty coat, doesn't he? Mrs. Edwin said finally. You just can't invent a brand new pet like that, Mary told me. A pet no one's ever had. My mother came out with lemonade and cookies, but everyone said they had to get going. Sparky and I watched them. Then my mother made me put away all the chairs. Afterward, I gave Sparky a cookie, but he ate it so slowly that I took it back again. It was getting dark out. I looked at him, and he looked at me. You could hear all the neighborhood dogs barking. I reached over and tagged him on his claw. You're it, Sparky, I said, and for a long, long time, he was. The end. So, Miss Kate is going to tell us some interesting and fun facts about our friend Pierre the Sloth.
Well, that was a very fun story about sloths, but in full disclosure, they do not make very good pets. We're lucky enough that Pierre here was hand raised by keepers at the Salisbury Zoo last year, so he does let us hold him when we need to for things, and he'll interact with us a little bit. But for the most part, sloths do not enjoy being held or petted, and they have very big claws, if you can see them, and they have very big teeth, and will not make very good pets. They are, however, nocturnal, which means that they're awake at night instead of during the day. So we think of sloths as being super, super lazy and not doing anything. Well, yeah, it's their sleeping time. So they'll spend all day sleeping, and then they come out at nights, and they actually do get pretty active at night as they climb around in the trees and look for things to eat. And our friend here told us, too, that sloths don't eat, but that's not true. Pierre's a big eater. His favorites are sweet potato and zucchini, but he has all kinds of things that he likes to eat, so he does eat a lot. There are 2 kind of main different types of sloths. There are 2-toed sloths and 3-toed sloths, and they're actually referring to the number of toes on their front legs, because all sloths have 3 toes on their back legs, and it's just a matter of how many toes they have on their front legs that says whether they're a 2-toed or a 3-toed sloth.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming over and visiting with us, and I know Pierre enjoyed the story immensely, even though he's maybe sleeping through it.
Maybe, just a little. But yeah, come visit the zoo. They have all kinds of animals. They're open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And maybe you'll see Miss Kate and Pierre walking around.
Absolutely, yes. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we're open from 10 to 12, and then we close from 12 to 1:30 for cleaning, and then we're open again from 1:30 to 3. So come out and visit.
All right. See you guys next week.